I don't know what this hip rest is. Welcome to Sips and Spirits, a podcast for lovers of both alcoholic and spectral spirits. I am your host, Chelsea.
I'm her host, Eric, and my nose is like a guard in my mouth right now. It's like a guard right here. Like that's one of the ingredients coming out. A little disclaimer before we get started. Facts and stories presented are from various sources. We make no claims that these tales are true. We just found them to be spooky and interesting.
Exactly.
And, I have some interesting things today.
Ooh, I can't wait. All right, and then cocktails and spirits are tasted for the first time during episode recordings, unless noted otherwise. We are trying this cocktail and spirit for the very first time. We have one new disclaimer to kind of throw in there. It's something we've been working on for a while, but we just needed to figure out the wording.
Yeah.
And I kind of like what we've got, so.
We want to remind you that it is fine to enjoy the spirits, but don't let them possess you. Mm-hmm. We may be drinking podcasts, but we strongly encourage you to drink responsibly. As much as we love you and enjoy our cocktails, there's never any pressure to consume them.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
And if you choose to refrain, there's no judgment here.
No judgment.
You're still welcome.
You're still welcome to come and partake in our lovely storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are we drinking today?
On that note. All right, so today we are calling upon a spirit from Greenhouse Spirits in Houston, Texas. We have this lovely bottle. We are using their Greenhouse Classic Gin to summon a queen bee cocktail to the table. And we fell in love with this bottle imagery to begin with.
We, like I was part of this process.
You were.
I was.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's pour this bad boy out.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what we got.
It's classic gin, so it's rather... Oh, that's a big pour. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can go all the way to the top.
It's colorless, so...
What's going on here? Got any more? That is not a shot.
Oh my god.
There we go. That's better. A lot better. Let's try this.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put this behind me.
You can put it behind us, yes.
All right. So it's been a while since we've done a spirit feature, I feel like. Mm-hmm. If this is your first time joining us on these, what we usually do is we sample the spirit itself straight up, and then we taste test the cocktail.
For those of you guys who may have followed us before, mentioned this before, I'm a firm believer that you cannot judge a spirit by the cocktails it makes. Judge it by its taste. And then judge the cocktail itself. I have too many people going, oh man, this is a great cocktail, and they give me the spirit for it kind of thing. And I'm like, It's the spirit itself is okay.
Some spirits are meant to be cocktails.
Yes, kind of thing. But,
But not all cocktails are meant to be stripped down to the spirit.
Exactly.
All right, so ready to cheers?
Cheers. That was a guard in my mouth.
Yes, indeed. Definitely juniper. Very juniper forward. That's the first thing on my tongue. But then I'm like getting
I got a lot
that herbalness of rosemary.
I got herbalness.
Like the earthy, not herbal. Earthy.
Yeah, I got some earthy herbs, but I also got like a lemon, like citrusy. Now that may be because I was just squirting a bunch of lemons and it's all like in my nose, but I don't know. It was interesting in itself. Can we trace the Queen's Bee?
Yeah. I actually like this. I wonder if I chilled this, like how good it would be to sip. So we ready to toast to the Queen's Bee?
That was a pour. Let's try that again.
I think because you were holding the...
Yeah. There.
Hello, sir. You cannot have any. So, the Queen Bee is definitely Greenhouse Gin's take, or Greenhouse Spirits' take on a bee's knees. It's a very simple cocktail. They had 2 ounces of their recipe actually called for vodka, but we felt with the topic we could mix and match and make it gin instead of the vodka, because the Their gin cocktails weren't really screaming spooky to me, but I was like the queen bee, and we're gonna potentially talk about spooky gardens.
Spooky gardens. Wait, we are?
I said potentially.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I like I like it actually.
It's not bad.
Bee's Knees, if you're not familiar, it's typically made with gin and honey. So this cocktail is 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1 ounce of honey simple syrup, and 2 ounces of vodka or gin, depending on what you did. Like we did the gin.
What you have available to you.
And then you just top it off with a sprig of rosemary for garnish, and it's nice.
It's nice. It's light. It's not too heavy on any other flavors.
You know what I kind of would have liked is if they had incorporated the rosemary, like maybe made it a rosemary honey simple syrup to bring in more of the garden-y vibe.
Yeah, that'd be very good. That'd be interesting.
But otherwise, it's good. Nice, easy, simple cocktail. You didn't need anything complicated for it. As we've shared before, making a simple syrup, a flavored one, it's equal parts of your water, your sugar, and then
the flavor.
Whatever the flavoring is.
Sweet. So let's learn about this
Beautiful
greenhouse gin.
Fun gin
Yeah,
bottle.
Tell me about it.
All right, so I'm going to go off and just quote straight from their website, their story right here. Beneath a canopy of tangled branches deep within a dark piney wood lived a most peculiar woman. She lived alone, but for the companionship of her odd collection of plants that filled her greenhouse to overflowing. Vines, herbs, and assorted oddities. Her only visitors were wandering souls and curious travelers who came seeking her famed elixirs, known both for their potency and flavorful complexity. It was rumored that she used her beloved seedlings and a bit of dark magic to create each mysterious concoction. It is from these secret potions and unusual botanicals that greenhouse spirits originated and thrived. Look closer, things are not always what they seem. And what they mean by that is by these very fun, unique bottle labels. I will drop a better picture, but I'm going to go ahead and hold it up to the camera. You, like in the greenhouse classic gin. You can't see it at all, okay. Well, so in the greenhouse classic gin, you have a woman in, looks like Elizabethan clothing. She's about to prune like this garden, and there's these giant insects, and her head is beheaded, like she accidentally pruned her own head instead of the garden buds.
It was adorable. Oh, that's funny.
And all the bottles are kind of like that, and I'll go into that in just a minute. So they have 7 gin and vodka varietals to choose from. So 3 gin, which come in their Artisan, classic, and peppered flavors for the gin, and then organic, cucumber mint, peach orange blossom, and grapefruit rose for their vodkas.
Vodkas.
Yeah, and they all sound really good.
Yeah, actually.
So the peppered gin is got more of a spice. And I didn't actually go into the descriptions of that. So yeah, all the gins are all women in period type clothing having something interesting happen to them in relation to the tool that they're using to take care of the garden. And it's almost like the garden and the insects are getting back at these women. Meanwhile, all the vodka bottles have a gentleman in a waistcoat and a top hat, and he's holding the top hat out, and there's some sort of plant that relates to what the vodka flavoring is growing out of his hat, like in an enormous size. They're really, really cute, clever illustrations. So you guys happen across this gin or vodka at Total Wine, definitely take a look at their bottles. They're really fun imagery, even if you don't end up picking them up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So greenhouse gins are complex elixirs that await your discovery, perfectly balanced with unusual yet intensely pleasing combinations. They leave you wanting more. Draw closer. Enchantment awaits.
I'm about to pound this drink. I'm like, yeah, I want more, but I can't finish.
I know. We should have made it a double.
I know, right?
Their description for their classic gin is Drift to unusual lands adorned with hints of juniper. Let the crisp air fill your lungs as the wind whispers delicate secrets. Seek the unknown. The bottle tag as a little special bonus. So this comes on every single little bottle. It's actually made from seed paper. So you can plant it and flowers will grow from this little paper.
What kind of flowers?
Huh?
What kind of flowers?
It doesn't tell you.
So
it just says, plant me.
Like
this is seed paper. And so some sort of flowers.
Hmm.
And on the label it says, we all keep secrets.
Ooh.
So I guess you'll find out the flower if you plant it. And I'm like kind of tempted to do that and report back to you guys on what it does.
Pots outside.
But I'm like terrible gardener. So the bottle artwork, as I mentioned before, I thought it was really interesting. And it gives me vibes of reminisce of Terry Gilliam style pieces.
Who's that?
If you're not familiar, think of you jumped the gun. You threw me out.
You said a name. I was like, who's that?
I was about to get into it. So if you've ever watched Monty Python, Terry Gilliam is the one who's responsible for all the crazy like art and animated pieces that are shown in between segments and that make up like the Monty Python like opening sequence. That's all Terry Gilliam artwork. So if you have that in mind, that's kind of what these bottles remind me of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm thinking Holy Grail. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, if people haven't seen Monty Python show, there's the Holy Grail. What's another one that's there?
Something Circus?
The Life of Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the show is called Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I've only seen Holy Grail.
My parents raised me on this, so I'm very like Terry Gilliam when it comes to crazy artwork.
Okay.
It's like I think he comes up before Dali does for me.
Oh, let's see. That's what separates you and me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the artwork, as I mentioned, it's pieces of men and women surrounded by overgrowing plants and insects. And I already mentioned this. I thought I didn't put it in my notes, but apparently I did at the end.
There you go. Did it twice.
All right. So yeah, there we are. Greenhouse gin.
Cool.
I love this cocktail.
It's a very,
I want more.
It's a fun cocktail. The gin itself doesn't taste like alcohol, which is always a.
That's a weird statement.
It doesn't have that burnt alcohol taste. That's what I meant to say. It tastes like gin, but it doesn't have like the harshness of gin that like, let's say, Death Door has.
Well, but they're different styles.
They're different style for sure, kind of thing. It doesn't have the London Dry kind of harshness of gin, kind of thing. When you think of like vodka or tequila, you have that it has that burn kind of thing.
Right.
The London Dry gins, I feel, has a similar style. It's not as much as those other ones, but this one like has very little of it. So it becomes a dangerous cocktail to drink, because as you can see,
oh yeah, for sure, it's really good.
Like, I can't tell if it's my half done or my not half done. I don't know. I'm drinking quite a bit of, I feel.
Well, and when you have the coupe glass, it's really hard to gauge properly.
And so like you can like gingerly drink this like really quickly.
I know.
Thing. But it's still enjoyable. It's a nice little cocktail.
Easy to make. I love that part.
I think some ice will make this a little better. Just keep it chiller longer.
I think if we had chilled the glasses, that would have helped with it. Well,
kind of thing. But yeah.
Plus, I took pictures before this, so I let it get warm.
Room temperature.
Sorry.
But yes. But yeah, quite enjoyable. Are you ready for my side of the world?
Yeah. You gonna hit me up with your would you rather?
Yes, would you rather. I did not write it down, but I know what it is.
Okay, good.
Making
my notes are flying everywhere. Away.
So, this would be a less of a spooky would you rather, I think, but it's still enjoyable thing to put into it.
I think the whole theme's a little more lighthearted this time. We're giving you guys a break after the creepiness of the Yarmayu.
Would you rather have to deal with Audrey 2, fully grown, or would you rather have to deal with an attack of killer tomatoes?
Oh my god, you just like hit all my nostalgia points. I know you will like that one. I love this one. All right, so deal with fully grown Audrey 2.
I figured, fully grown versus just a little.
Right, of course. Or
an attack from a kilo of tomatoes.
An attack from the Killer Tomatoes. Oh man, this one's hard. So, fun fact, did you guys know Killer Tomatoes is actually local for us? It takes place in San Jose and San Francisco. That's where it starts off. Okay. And then it branches to the rest of the world.
Well, I guess we messed up the world.
And if you haven't seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, it is one of the silliest, campiest movies.
I've seen parts of it, but I grew up watching the cartoon. So that was interesting.
There is the any fans of Elvira out there, in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, her movie, the movie that she's playing when all the teenagers come to the movie matinee, the macabre matinee, I think is what it was. It is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is what's in the background. For all you movie nerds out there. Yeah. Oh, this is a hard one. You know, that's a tough one. Really, it's really challenging because, like, it's like you have Audrey too, but she like bears spores and bursts more little Audrey twos, and like the Killer Tomatoes is a bunch of them.
That's right, yeah.
So you're dealing eventually with all en masse, no matter what.
Aliens or weird science.
You know what? I think I'd rather face my luck with the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Audrey 2 is more intimidating.
Is it more intimidating?
Well, people are stupid.
Well, yes. But are you stupid?
I'm not. But that doesn't keep her from spreading with other people.
That's true.
You know? Whereas, like, you get, like, let's get a garden shears or a big, like, saw or whatever, and we've got the world's largest garden salad with the Killer Tomatoes.
But there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Can you chop fast enough?
I don't know.
So, I've never seen... Okay,
You haven't really seen either to completion.
I've seen other movies. I've seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes cartoon, which the tomatoes have more personality than actually like characters.
Oh my god, the cartoon.
Like the 90s cartoon.
I totally forgot about that.
So that's what I'm thinking. But
and I was in the Broadway, or not Broadway, but my high school did the Broadway performance of
Killer Tomatoes Horror.
No, what's it called?
Little Shop of Horror.
Little Shop of Horror. Thank you.
Not Little Pet Shop of Horror. I always add the pet to it for some reason. Because I think of Pet Cemetery, but Little Shop of Horror. But for me, I will also pick Killer Tomatoes just because I'm a one-man army. I'll take it all on. Bring it on. I'll make you a salad.
And they both have very catchy songs. It's a tough one. Man, that's such a good question. Look at you. I applaud you.
I figured you would like that.
You pulled it on my heartstrings there. I've never been a good gardener, but I definitely love those plant-based horror flicks. Because you know what's another good one? Or that would have been good to put in there is
Body Snatchers?
The Thing from Another World. Oh, Body Snatchers is good too. Those are all plant-based.
Are they?
Alien invasions.
Aliens everywhere.
Except, I think, it's been a while, but I think Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is actually, like you said, a science experience.
Yeah,
that's why, like, Bob in Monsters vs. Alien is so adorable because he is tomato flavored. He's from a tomato genetic experiment. And I think that's supposed to be a nod to
that.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, so... I like that.
So.
You picked the tomatoes, right?
Yes, I did. Would you believe if I told you the White House has ghosts?
Yeah, I would.
So, not all White House ghosts are well known or have been presidents or first ladies. There are also lesser known spirits, as like a white-haired old man that disturbs the president's Chester Arthur at night, a beautiful maiden in flowing white dresses sighted in the old conservatory, and an identified boy called the Thing that greatly frightens the staff residents in 1991. Perhaps the Taft residents, that's the family. Perhaps they need to be a press agent, as these specters have now received the recognition of other White House ghosts. The Washington Critic newspaper claimed in 1883 the description of the ghost of an old man, aged and bent man with long, phosphorus white beard and hair, ghastly and wavy bright, and glaring eyes, and long, scary fingers. His walk is noiseless but stately, and his presence is always indicated by a particular electrical sensation which pervades the surrounding air. It was alleged that ghosts had also disturbed President Ulysses S. Grant at night, but the apparition never became part of a cast of more famous White House ghosts traditionally described at Halloween. Late one evening in 1897, a White House policeman was making his rounds and saw a light in the greenhouse complex that once stood on the west side of the building, which was demolished in 1902. The officer decided to investigate, as he assumed that an intruder was pilfering the prized exotic flowers that were grown there. The story related that on entering the conservatory, he was met by a tall, beautiful lady dressed in fashion of early 19th century. He spoke to her, and she then vanished, but he heard a musical laugh. And a phosphorus glow remained in the greenhouse for some time. He checked the doors and searched the conservatory, but there was no trace of the mysterious one. A month later, the same light appeared in the doorway into the conservatory and felt a rush of air and touch on his shoulder. He turned to see the same lady as before, gripped by fear, passed out. After retelling his story to supervisors, he was discharged. The story was told to friends, and before long, an enterprising journalist interviewed him to record the story. However, it is not a tale that survived into the White House ghost lore of the 20th century. I don't know who this person is. Some guy named Boris Karloff.
What?
So, did you know, besides being a great actor, he also had a passion for gardening.
I think I did know that.
He took a special pride in a rose garden he had. Several of Karloff's friends made unusual requests. The friends stated that when they died, they wanted the ashes to be spread among the beautiful roses garden he had created. They had a wish to have their ashes spread among the rose petals, and so that they could enjoy the beauty of the rest of eternity. Karloff had agreed because he was a good friend. It is because of this reason that people believe that this is one of the most haunted places in Los Angeles.
Oh.
If you are to visit the rose garden, you'll be able to feel the presence of the friends who were spread there. Many people have stated they have visited the garden. You can clearly feel the presence of each individual. However, most people state that spirits feel at peace. They're not angry and only add a sense of serenity to the place. In fact, the hauntings are believed to enhance the garden. One of the strangest happenings is when a relative that was late in life to Katharine Hepburn, there we go, appeared. Kept in mind that Hepburn has passed away in 2003. However, the relative appeared out of the blue without warning. She was dressed in black and just inspecting the house and the land. It was at the time the person stated that she was glad the land wasn't messed up yet. She simply seemed to vanish into the air after that statement was said. And while looking up for other stories, or for stories in general, I ran to a place in the United Kingdom, the UK. It's called the Lost Gardens of Heligan. Yes.
How do you spell Heligan?
Heligan. So, story goes, there was a family who owned the gardens, and when World War I came about, it became a place for like a pit stop for people to like stop there before going to battle, kind of thing, because it was just a giant place, kind of thing. And same thing during World War II. There's people like doing training there and kind of there, and so after the wars, a lot of people died in that area because war came there, kind of thing, and then the family just kind of like lost feeling or interest into the land, kind of thing. They're there for a long time beforehand, and then they kind of just left, kind of thing, and then it became lost. It just overgrown. 200 acres.
Wow.
Property. It overgrown and it just wasn't there, kind of thing, anymore. And then I believe it was in the 1800s, not 1800s. That can't be. That's not World War I happened in the 1900s. Just kidding.
Probably like in the 50s.
In the 50s or 60s. One of the relatives of the family or the descendants kind of like rediscovered it. He went back to the property and kind of started like weeding out and started taking care of it. You can now go through there and walk around kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
The cool part about it, or the spooky part about it, is that there's a lot of places where the groundskeepers and the staff will not walk by alone.
Why?
Just because they feel like the eerie sense of they haven't seen anything, but they have a sense of something's there kind of thing, you know, and whatnot. One of the security guards has said that they wouldn't close the gates by themselves. They would just leave them open and just run out versus like having to be out there and not by themselves. Because like they just have this like feeling of like something there.
Ooh, it sounds like they got like some sort of elemental or something. So
I don't know, it's a school like kind of thing.
Ooh, I love that.
Like when they first reopened it up, they found a lot of like on the walls of the houses or the buildings there, like soldiers' names kind of thing, which they later connected to like memorials of soldiers who died kind of thing.
Aww.
So it's like it was really cool and stuff and whatnot. But it's like you can go and explore like one of the travel articles I was reading said like you can like explore it for like 2-3 hours kind of thing. Because like 200 acres is a lot. You can get
that's
easily
huge
lost
property.
kind of thing and whatnot. Like there's like a houses there, but it's not the descendant does not have access to it because it's owned by somebody else now. But like so like that's kind of like off limits. But everything else is like still there kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting. Ready for a little story?
Oh, you have more?
I have a story.
I have notes. I'm running out of room for.
I have a story.
Okay.
And the story's a little. I'm gonna say. Fair warning. There's mention of suicide here.
Okay.
So if that's something
you're sensitive
about, then I suggest you skip the story on this.
We'll drop a time code for where to skip ahead to. Should I go over my notes before we jump into the story?
Sure, let's go through your notes. What do you got to say?
Okay, well, the first thing is 1883. That's really cool that they have like an article traced back that early about
Ghost in the White House.
White House ghost encounter. When you talked about the tall lady that over near the gardens.
The tall, beautiful lady dressed in fashion in the early 19th century.
I couldn't help but think Lady Dimitrescu. Because the first descriptor was tall, beautiful lady.
Yep.
With a melodious laugh.
No, a musical laugh.
That's the same thing.
Is it?
Melodious? Like musical?
Oh, like
melody. Yeah. I couldn't remember the exact words, so I was throwing in my own.
Words unreal.
And then, Boris Karloff's like rose garden. So my question is it like open to the public?
Yeah.
So people can go and visit
You can go and tour.
And it's in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Go walk around through.
Like where? No, you don't know?
I didn't actually get like the address, like where it is, but you can go visit it.
Okay, cool. That was it for my notes.
Is that something we gotta make a stop by now?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's
maybe Midsummer's.
Anyway, I'm like, I'm trying to organize myself. Okay. I remember Crampton Park School. It was a boarding school. There were about 100 girls, and we all slept in a big dormitory. The house was very large and dark looking. It may have been beautiful once, but had fallen into despair. Quite frankly, the place was crumbling and falling apart. The grounds were very large and full of trees. There was a very high wall around the garden. It felt like a prison. We were trapped in there and for so long. It began to seem like our whole world. I don't think it was a very good school. The teachers weren't unkind to us or anything, but everything about it was miserable. Everything seemed to go wrong. It seemed like Donna and I were always in trouble. There were about 100 other girls, but none of them liked us. That's how we were thrown together. We were the unpopular ones. No one wanted to hang out with us. I suppose that's why we hung out around each other. Nobody else wanted us. Donna was extremely odd, with her wild, frizzy, unkempt hair and her drab, unfashionable clothes. She was all spots all over her face and wore thick glasses that made her eyes seem as they were bugged out. But I was no gem either. We used to sit together in a lonely part of the garden under the shade of a beautiful old poplar tree. We called it the popular tree. We used to try to fool ourselves into believing that we were the popular ones and all the other girls were the freaks. It was obvious we were deluding ourselves, but because there was two of us, we were able to keep up the delusion, and that just made it worse. Then one day, the teacher gave us a class project, and I was paired with another girl. She was one of the most popular girls in school. She was so pretty, and everybody liked her. While we were working the project together, she somehow took pity on me, and we became friends. She took me under her wing and showed me how to improve my appearance. She got me to brush my hair, wash my face properly, use deodorant. She told me she didn't mind me, but she couldn't stand Donna. When we finished the project, I thought she would drop me, but she didn't. We went on being friends. Then she introduced me to her friends, and to my surprise, the others began to like me as well. I joined her group and set about distancing myself from Donna. She was left to learn. I deserted her. Donna was miserable when I left her. She never cried, but she was used to wander around by herself, looking lost and formal. When I was with her others, I used to see her sitting there alone under the poplar tree, watching me. Whenever the others pointed and made fun of her, I joined. I laughed and jeered along with them. One afternoon, Donna approached me when there was no one else around. She wanted me to come with her to the poplar tree. I didn't want to go with her, but I felt guilty, so I went. When we got there, I couldn't bear it. I didn't want the others to see me with her. I was afraid her unpopularity would rub off on me again. I was so frightened of being excluded again that I said terrible things to her. I told her I hated her, that I never wanted to be her friend again. That night, as I lay awake in bed, I saw her get up. She put on her dressing gown and went out of the dormitory. She didn't come back. I lay there waiting and waiting with a terrible feeling of pit in my stomach. I felt a tightness on my throat. The next morning, the teachers noticed Donna was missing. They searched all over her, but nobody could find her. They called her parents, but they hadn't heard from her either. Everybody assumed she had run away. A few weeks later, I was out in the gardens, went over the poplar tree. I sat down and in the shade. Then I happened to look up. That's when I saw her. 2 rotten feet dangling above my head. Her dead eyes stared down at me accusingly. She had hanged herself. All along, the rotting corpse had been dangling there for weeks, hidden among the branches of the poplar tree, and no one knew. There was a scandal with the school. The huge tree was cut down. Some of the teachers and staff resigned. Most of the students were taken home by their parents. The school was eventually forced to close down, and the crumbling old house and the grounds were sold and lost. Ever since then, I've been haunted by her ghost. I see her in every tree I pass in the streets. She hangs there from the branches, staring at me, accusingly with those wretched, bugged eyes. It doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with. I wake up in the middle of the night and see her standing there over me with the belt of her dress gown tied around her neck. She beckons me to come with her, and I am powerless to resist. It's only a matter of time before she succeeds. It's only a matter of time before she exacts her revenge. It's only a matter of time before Donna manages to take me with her back to the poplar tree.
You deserve it, girl. You horrible, mean person.
She is a mean person.
I hate those kinds of stories.
Yeah, they're kind of sad kind of thing because, you have this people who are...
They're not sad. They're infuriating. Yeah, I'm sad on behalf of the victim.
Yes.
Because that's not right. I think this is why I have such a big beef with, I'm going to make a lot of people angry, but Mean Girls, oh my God, biggest waste. I still want those 2 hours back. I can't believe you made me watch that movie. It's horrible. And I get this terrible knot in my stomach every time people quote that movie and say how great it is. I'm sure I'm missing the point, but I'm just disgusted because I remember being around girls who were trying to do exactly, convince other people who were trying to be on the good side of these people who just didn't fit in with everyone else. And expecting me to join in. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Ignoring the person who's standing right there, obviously talking to you. You mean bitches. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this. I don't like bullies. I have a big issue with it.
I'm related to Sukinis and cocktails and whatnot.
This makes me so mad. I'm sorry.
What do you think of movies where they have it's usually the popular guy going after the not so popular girl, they're trying to trick her into let's make fun of her.
Oh, that drives me nuts
and then
too.
he eventually falls for her. Coming up next, movie reviews with Chelsea and Eric.
You mean like
I can't think of any movies right now on top of my head.
What's the Halloween movie?
Halloween movie? Halloween time?
No.
Halloween?
With Sam.
Winchester?
No.
Sam Wright?
Oh my god. Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Yes, yeah, I got that one. I kind of like that scene.
Yeah. No. Too late. You were still like in on it. You don't get to feel guilty afterwards.
Like
you just desserts.
He makes it to like some like beauty queen and
anyway, like wallflower. Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, you plucked a nerve on this one.
I did.
Apparently.
Man, girl, I got you all happy and getting, and I got you made. Me. So, don't hurt her friends.
No, I guess. Oh my god, yeah. There's an Aries trait right there.
You know,
don't be mean to my friends. I will hurt you. So bad. I won't hurt you, but I definitely won't stand by and let you do it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever.
But I'm not blinded by that like need to be part of the crowd.
No.
And like be with the in crowd. And you know, I guess that's easy for me to say because I've never had a problem interacting with people, no matter what their level or where their background is coming from. So I can take it or leave it. I don't really care. And maybe I'm very approachable. So that makes it easy for me to say something like that. I know for other people that might not be the same case. So it can be really devastating to feel so isolated and ostracized, purposely kept out of the loop. And that's not when you are aware of what you're doing. That, and you know, maybe this person just hasn't had the chance to properly develop those social skills because you've been isolating them the entire time. How else are you expecting them to react? Like, sorry, but where were you gonna go with this?
Well, no, I was gonna a similar idea.
I'm laughing, but it's because I get so worked up and frustrated. I have no other option but to like giggle about it.
I think about our friends. I think about people that we interact with. I think about the idea of who is part of our community, kind of thing. You know, and in some aspects of it, there are people like you and me. I grew up and I don't feel like I was ever isolated out. I was able to make friends with all groups of people, kind of thing. If I was to be dropped off in that lunchroom and being girls, I could sit on any of those tables, kind of thing. Because that's how the type of personality I was. I was able to make friends with everybody, kind of thing. You know, but you know, I hear stories of other people that we know about. Kind of thing. They grew up and they're like, oh, I had my own little group and that was always us. And you know, lunchtime we always went to a little corner because we didn't want to interrupt, like. We didn't feel comfortable interacting with other people. Other people will make fun of us with things.
Well, and like some of our friends who've had like the pranks played on them that we've seen in movies, and where I'm just like horrified. Like, how could someone do that? And it does happen in real life. That is one of those few things where it's like that's not dramatized in movies, and that is more horrifying to me.
It is sad, and it is horrifying. You know, there's people out there who
it's upsetting.
And you know, and.
Because we're all human beings. That's not right.
We're all human beings, and we're all trying just to get through day by day, kind of thing, you know? Like some of us might not have as many conflicts as others, kind of thing, but, you know, it is, you know, it's important to remember that we all have our issues to worry about, kind of thing, you know? It's like your problems, some of those problems should not be belittled just because they're happening to you or to them, kind of thing, you know. And you know, it's not some too parenty, but like, you know, it is better to be out there and stand up for somebody that you think needs a helping hand versus just sitting on the side and just being like, hey,
they'll work through it. This isn't the worst thing.
Like it's not my problem. It doesn't involve me. I don't know them, kind of thing, you know. Stand up, say something, you know. it might put you in a position that you might get retaliated against you, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make that person feel a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I think that movie we watched the other night is like what a great embodiment of that.
The
Just
Asian movie?
Belle, yeah.
Oh, different movie.
Just standing up.
Yeah.
And even though you're going through your own stuff, still taking the time to show that other person who you know is struggling, instead of making them feel more isolated or it's not my problem, it'll all be okay, it'll work out, get through it. Being like, no, I'm here for you and I want to make a difference.
Exactly.
It makes such a huge difference.
No, for sure, kind of thing, you know, and it's you don't know what those words can mean to somebody else. Kind of thing. It can be the one phrase that they need to hear that one day, kind of thing, you know. We all have our things that we're struggling with. Kind of thing, you know, not to get too serious, guys. But
hi, we're Sips and Spirits, and welcome to our TED Talk.
TED Talk. You know, like we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to be, you know, the straw that breaks the camel's back. What's going to tip, you know, in the glass or whatever. But hearing those words, hearing that, you know, someone's out there that they want to genuinely help you, kind of thing, you know, could save a life.
It really could.
Yeah. You know,
it sounds so corny. I know it does, but it really has. It has made a difference. It has saved lives.
Yeah.
Just take that extra moment or even second, guys. Just
say hi to your friend.
Be kind.
You know, say hi to someone you haven't spoke to a while. You know, say, hey, how's it going? Kind of thing.
I'm not saying smile at a stranger or anything like that. You do what's within your comfort zone, but it doesn't hurt to take a moment to just show a little kindness.
Exactly.
It really doesn't. And in fact, it's more rewarding. I'm speaking from experience.
Agree.
So
show a little kindness.
It goes a long way, and it's just like pay it forward. It really
Everybody goes through those things.
You have no idea how much your tiny action impacts someone else's life. But enough of that. We were here for the spooky. We got a little bit of it.
Yes. And why not? Haunting ghosts. Revenge haunting ghosts.
Yeah.
We thought on that.
I mean, I'm okay with it if the ghost is seeking revenge after the person who deserves the revenge.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's weird. Or, I mean, I get it. Like, a ghost is beyond reasonable thinking, but I still find it like odd or weird. I guess I'm not going to be that kind of a ghost where you're like haunting a whole family line because your lover dumped you like while they were away.
So that's really my question. Like,
you know,
what happens when that person you're haunting as revenge
like
is no longer there?
Generational revenge is weird to me. Like immediate, where you just haunt someone until they die.
What about like a location haunt, because whoever lives there is like, you don't want them to live there.
Oh, like a residual. So like Beetlejuice.
Sure. I was gonna say like somebody haunts a house.
Yeah.
And like people move out and then they still haunt whoever comes in. Just don't want anybody in their house because this is my house. Yeah.
I mean, that's not really revenge haunting. That sounds founded.
Founded? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have blurred lines of logic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live in compromise with the ghosts.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, some places are just haunted or possessed. And that's where it seems like it's more aggressive. Because where it's just like a ghostly haunting, it doesn't seem so bad. But then when it's like...
Well, it depends on who you are.
A more demonic haunting of the house, it seems a bit more aggressive. Get out! You know? I can't do it! Okay? I have the cute little Minnie Mouse voice. I can't do like a spooky, creepy... I can do the creepy kid like laughter.
Nah, still not. Okay.
Meanwhile, everyone listening is like, please stop.
I'm seeing her do it. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm not scared at all. God.
Now, if I did that in the dark, though.
You want to talk about a creepy laugh? Like a child creepy laugh? My mother, on the other hand.
On her knees with a knife? On her knees with a knife?
Oh, we forgot to mention.
That's the story for
a little side note.
Oh.
The lemons that we use on our
Oh yeah,
cocktail
look it.
comes from my mom's garden.
Yeah, so we got all like spooky garden with this. Not that your mom's garden is haunted or anything.
Maybe probably. I haven't been out there in
Oh, but speaking of haunted items,
Mm-hmm.
we found out something interesting about something in our new place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. We have a antique looking couch.
Yeah, we have like a Victorian style sitting couch.
Green couch.
And we found out. So
You'll find out.
the upholstery that's on it is not the original upholstery, and that is because it got reupholstered after a person died on it.
Yep.
In the room that it's currently located in the spot that it is currently located in. For the past 40, 50 years?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we found out. Apparently someone has died in this house.
So creepy.
On one of the furniture pieces.
So I wonder what happens when we move
And
it.
instead of buying a new furniture piece, they just decided to reupholster all the furniture pieces that match that piece.
Yep.
Because,
That seems like a smart way to go about it.
yeah. So, fun little thing there.
More hauntings.
Cool. Very cool. Right?
Right.
I need more cocktail. Now that we talked about this. Oh my goodness.
So, we're adding a little segment in our spirits episodes.
Yes.
We call it Questions from the Beyond.
Ooh. I feel like I need to have like a spirit board on the screen.
She won't let me use a spirit board?
No.
So...
Well, especially now that I found out that we have a dead person
Exactly.
couch.
So we have to go and ask the spirit board of Instagram or social media.
Yep, exactly.
We have to go to social media and get our little pension.
You guys have to spell out some questions for us.
Spell out some questions for us. And so we got a question from
Steven Kittens.
Steven Kittens, who asked, "Will you be doing some mocktails soon?" Our original plan for the cryptid card episodes.
Our plan always was with any original cocktails
to make a mocktail version of it.
Yes. And for about a third of our cocktails, we do have a mocktail version.
Yes.
But that is something we are really hoping to remedy come the summer to make sure all our cocktails have a non-alcoholic version, because that's always been important to us.
Yes.
And we talk about that. We have on each of our recipe pages where there's a little segment talking about how that's always been our mission as Sips and Spirits, to provide an enjoyable, fun drink that's not just for those who like to imbibe in alcoholic spirits, but also those who just want something fun and different that's not like orange juice or cranberry juice or, Martinelli sparkling cider. As fun as it is.
You make yourself a cocktail that is not really... You want yourself a mocktail, for lack of better words. Not a Shirley Temple, not a Roy Rogers, something different. It looks just as fun as everybody else cocktail kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, whatever your reason is to be sober, there is no judgment here. We fully respect it. And we understand that. We have 2 young children and we try very hard. We have to balance it out. Either one of us is imbibing or we're all mixing a non-alcoholic drink, which is where the cocktails that we do have that have a non-alcoholic version come from is like our kids wanted to try it.
Like, hey, that looks fun. Can I have it? I'm like, no, but you can make it one.
Right.
Kind of thing. So, and it's very...
A kid-friendly one, guys. Not make them another one.
I don't make them
If we haven't made that clear with what our topic is, just making that we don't want to be taken out of context. We're making them a non-alcoholic version of what they want to try.
Yes, exactly. So so we will be trying to catch up on the ones that we haven't so far, and then move forward to some more. Hopefully, coming to the future.
And we do have a special guest cocktail coming up that is actually completely sober, and it's up to you if
we didn't make it sober, but yes.
No, their original cocktail
is sober.
So or non-alcoholic, however you want to phrase it. I don't know. There's so many terminologies: mocktail, non-alcoholic. I've heard kid-friendly. There's another one. I can't think of what it is.
You don't make a punch. Pretty much. I don't know what do you call it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had a mind fart.
Coming up, future episode.
Yes, future episode, we do have a special cocktail that is a mocktail, for lack of better words, in 2 episodes, actually. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
And I do have one more thing to add in. So in our last episode, we said we were going to have an Instagram live with All Hallows Geek talking about the aroma hoop. You may have noticed it didn't happen.
It hasn't happened yet.
That just happened to be some logistic issues, and we've remedied it. So coming this Saturday, March 4th, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are going to be doing our Instagram live tasting with Mike from All Hallows Geek, trying the Yaramahu cocktail. So if you guys want to join us, it's going to be then. We just had to keep kind of changing the schedule. A bunch of things were happening on both our ends. And we didn't get a chance to properly let you guys know that we had to reschedule it.
Yeah. And, it's been a move back and forth trying to get ourselves settled here.
Right.
Kind of thing, there's still obstacles in our way to get it all fully done. So we're trying to still be able to give you guys content, but at the same time, we have to take care of our own personal stuff. Our own personal stuff to make it so we can easily give you guys content and whatnot. So we apologize for that.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it to our consistency to be going forward, but just bear with us. Please.
Yeah, so I know socials have been really weird.
Yeah.
Newsletter is still being revamped.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Coming
the
soon.
the week following this episode, we're really gonna have it hammered down. For those of you who have subscribed, since all our announcements the last couple weeks, have been seeing like a little like a few subscribers flow in each week. So that's great. Thank you guys. And please be patient. It is coming, I swear.
Yes.
We just, like Eric said, we're still managing with the move. And we were really hoping we'd have things in order by the start of March. And it's just our hands are tied in the particular situation we're in. We're just waiting on other people.
But as soon as we said, it's still a lovely bar.
Yeah, but we got the priority. So we're trying to keep on top with the episodes. And we have a couple fun ones coming up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. You ready to close the tab?
Yes, I'm ready to close it.
Okay. Thanks for sipping along with us again. We want to keep those spirits flowing. So please be sure to show your support by reviewing and subscribing to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, be sure to share with others. FYI, we don't get so parenty and TED talking.
Oh no, yeah, we're usually not this preachy. I apologize, but apparently Eric knew the right nerve to hit, and I was like, "This is not okay. I have to say."
Yeah.
So if you ever wondered where I stood on all that, now you know.
Exactly. So check out all episodes. They're just as fun.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And if you want to know where you can find all those episodes, we are available on all podcast hosts or YouTube. Huh?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. We have a website, sipsandspirits.com, where I keep all of our podcast show notes well archived, in addition to our cocktail recipes, which I forgot to tell you guys where to find this cocktail recipe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which it came from the Greenhouse Gin website. They have a page of recipes. It's called the Queen's Bee.
There we go. Got it.
If you're not going to our website, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Whatever your poison is, go ahead and pick it. That's where we are at. If you don't feel like social media, you can check out our email newsletter via sipsandspirits.com/happyhour. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's me on my end with all the socials and where to find us. And I think we're ready to close our tab and say cheers.
Thank you for sipping along with us. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.